Yes. Yes. This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney one. My girl, and say, this is. Hannah, Ephraim, Hannah, Ephraim, guys. Oh. Mommy loves to play. You know, mommy loves to play with you. But I remember mommy told you about dialysis. Yes, mommies feel a little tired when she's doing dialysis. And when she's done dialysis, she needs to sleep a little, lay down a little, eat a little. Okay. I play all the games with you when I have more strength. Okay. All right. Mama play with you, Ephraim. Mama play with you, Hannah. You know I love you. All right. Go chase your father. Okay. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. All right. Maybe we can sit down and watch my show. I can lay down and watch it rather since I'm feeling weak and tired because this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. Hello, and how is everybody doing? Happy Sunday to you. All right. One of the things I wanted to remind you about, if you had a transplant, remember to prepare your transplant medication. I prepare mine every Saturday, so I have it all the way from Sunday to Saturday, okay? When I first got on dialysis, when I first got my transplant, they gave me this big thing like this, but I loved it because it had, breakfast, lunch, and dinner and stuff like that in there, so you could still plan. So remember to get your binders in order, get your binders straight, do what you got to do. All right? And when you get a chance to, enjoy some of the kidney magazines out there. I know you saw me post it, and this one is called Kidney Talk. Oh, wow. It is wonderful. It is great. You hear me talk about the magazines all the time, but it has recipes and everything in it. But I have to show you this one, the PKZ magazine Life, featuring your girl, your girl, Lisa Baxter, giving them the 411 and everything else. How about that? I hope you got your free one or you got your the one that's electronic. Okay? So God bless. And it has wonderful recipes and everything in here. You love it, and just love it. Okay? Well, guys, guess what? I got a great show planned for you. I got a good person coming on. Oh my God, let me describe some stuff for you about him. Okay. All right. This guy, he's a kidney advocate, right? For AKF. He's with NKF and AAKP. All right. And he's going to tell you what all of that is. He's an ambassador. He's a blogger. He's a podcast host, right? He's a master repairer. He's a tech that deals with, electronical stuff, your computers and things like that there. And he lived in Texas, but he is from, Kentucky. I almost couldn't be what I wrote. All right. And he is married and he is a father. All right. So he's a husband. All right. And he's a dad. Welcome to the Lisa Baxter Show. What? Jonathan Traylor. Woohoo! Hey, Jonathan, welcome to the show, man.
What's going on, Lisa?
We make our rounds. Man, I'm alive and kicking. This, that, and the other is going on. What I love about you is you're always supportive of not only my show, but the urban health shows and everything else. And you're doing your own thing. I mean, we always doing the chat thing, you know, when we didn't doing the remarks and, you know, and everything. So then you always kicking it. So I ain't mad at you. You know what I mean? I ain't mad at you.
Lisa, I appreciate you having me on. You're looking fabulous tonight.
Oh, stop.
Especially on the cover of that PKD magazine. You're looking fabulous.
Oh, what? You better go ahead. I ain't mad at you. Come on here. Come on here. To God be the total glory. I thank you so much. I thank you so much. You're doing great things. And I wanted to, even though you are known in the kidney world, I wanted people to know more about you by being, you know, on my show. And we a kidney family up in this piece. We in the kidney community, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So listen, tell us about what you're doing or what you used to do as far as work is concerned.
Well, I was in computer repair, and I did a lot of hardware repairs on laptops, desktops, tablets, phones, you name it. I've worked on everything from Apple operating systems to Windows operating systems. I've probably worked or touched on almost any piece of hardware that you've seen come out. As far as like laptops and desktops, I've probably repaired one or two at least. I've also repaired Xerox printers, things like that. So I was kind of like an all-around hardware technician.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Keep your mind busy and keep your fingers and everything busy too, huh? Well, congratulations on being married. Congratulations on being a father, and I'm sure it was a minute, you know?
Yes.
So
almost 20 years now.
Woo! What? 20? That's all right. Come on here. Come on here.
Yep.
Congratulations on that. You know, a lot of people don't last that long. You know what I mean? You got to fight to keep that love going. You know what I mean? And you got to support one another, especially in illness, because a lot of people go running. I was married 23 years, so I know what you're talking about. And both of us battled serious illnesses. It didn't start out that way. All right. So tell us about your kidney journey.
So on July 8th of 2019, I went into complete renal failure. But before then, I had a lot of urinary tract infections, blood in the urine, things like that. I struggled with controlling my hypertension and my type 2 diabetes, just due to family history. Also, just a lot of the jobs that I had I didn't have insurance. Because I was either a contract worker or working through temporary services, things like that. So I would skip going to doctor's appointments, things like that, because of finances and things of that nature. Plus, I had a white coat syndrome. I didn't like doctors. Didn't like staying on top of things like that. I just had I had this fear of doctors, and now they're my friends, of course. But yeah, on July 8th of 2019, I went into renal failure after about 3 or 4 days of being in the bed, very lethargic, sleeping, couldn't hold down any food. I was vomiting, basically had no strength, thought I was fighting the flu, and went to get out of the bed. And when I went to get out of the bed, I fell right into the floor. And I had to call for my son, my wife, everybody to come in to help me get back in the bed. And my wife had been begging me to go to the hospital. And I thought I was just fighting the flu, so I thought I would, be okay. But ended up, long story short, I ended up in the emergency room here at my local hospital. They found out, of course, I was in complete renal failure, stage 5 ESRD. And they stat flighted me to San Antonio because my local hospital did not have a dialysis ward. So they stat flighted me to San Antonio, and I was there within about 20 minutes. And as soon as I went in there, because of my toxin level and my potassium level, which was a 9, I ended up in with a slight cardioarrhythmia. They had to shock me, bring me back. According to my nephrologist there at Methodist Hospital in San Antonio, I was just moments from death. Had I laid in the bed any longer and not went to the hospital here, I would have just fell asleep uh, in like a coma state. I spent a couple of weeks in the ICU, or a couple of days in the ICU, and then I ended up spending a couple of weeks total in the hospital until I was released to do in-center care with DaVita.
Wow. Wow, what a journey.
Yeah.
Now, what was going through your mind when you started dealing with this? Because I know what you mean about the the terrible tastes or throwing up or the
Oh
foamy
yeah.
urine, all the different types of
Yeah.
things that we don't know what it is because we don't think or know we have kidney failure. So you would think it's a
Right.
flu or something else, something you ate, pregnant, not you, but
Yeah.
you thought all of the things as a woman, you don't know because you don't know exactly
Yeah.
what that feel like. But what was going through your
Yeah.
mind at the time when you going through this illness thing going on, and then bam, they tell you what it is. So go through that part first, and then go to this part. Go ahead. You got it.
Well, in my mind, I basically only thought to just pray. I knew something majorly was wrong, especially when I went to get out of bed and couldn't get up. I had no strength. Then I was trying to urinate and I couldn't urinate. I knew there was, something majorly wrong. And then on the way to the hospital, I started having a lot of breathing problems, and I was just like gasping for air as if I had been running a marathon. I was really trying to breathe, just needed to breathe, and I couldn't. I was really struggling. And later on, I found out that was from the fluid overload that I had. My legs were swollen, my ankles were swollen. Like I said, couldn't breathe. And the only thing I could think of was to go to God and start praying. And that was what was going through my mind. I just started really praying, um, you know, and that's all I
But
could do.
they put you on a respirator or give you oxygen or something with this breathing or release some of the fluid off of you?
Yeah, they put me on like the oxygen with the tubes in the nose and all that, just long enough to get me to San Antonio. And then once I got to San Antonio, like I said, I blacked out once I went into the arrhythmia. They had to shock me. I blacked out and I woke up in the ICU, strapped to the bed, intubated with a giant machine, a dialysis machine next to me that was basically pulling all the fluid off of me. I think I was on the dialysis machine about 6 to 8 hours the first couple of days. They ended up pulling off like 30 pounds of fluid or something like that.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
feeling the way you felt as you going through this, did you
Hmm.
think that dialysis would make you feel any better, or did you feel any improvement once you did get dialysis treatment?
Yeah, I could slowly start feeling progressing, better as I did a couple of treatments in the hospital, and I noticed I was starting to feel better. My legs were getting smaller. They were pulling, they started off slow because they didn't, want to affect the body too quickly, but I could tell that they were, pulling the fluid off, and I was starting to feel better. I was able to walk. I was walking around, the hospital ward, the floor there. And of course, I had to be assisted with a walker. But I was able to start regaining some of my strength back. I wasn't 100%, of course, but as a matter of fact, they were pretty shocked to see me up and moving as quickly as I was because of the shape that I was in when I first came in. They really wasn't sure I was going to make it. So, but God had a plan.
Oh yeah, God got a way. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
whatever he takes us through, a lot of times he show other people the miracle within what was wrong with you. It could be family, somebody that didn't believe, or it can even be a doctor that only thinks sometimes scientific stuff. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right. Right.
did I? How did your family deal with this or take this once they found out, or the doctor told them, or you told them what was going on?
They were upset. They were praying for me. They were believing for me. They were a very strong support. You know, they were there for me. They just continued to keep believing and praying for me. I was in the ICU for like 3 days, and I wasn't, talking to anybody or responding. So they basically were just praying and believing for me. So they were upset, of course, but they reached out to a lot of people to start praying. And social media was a great tool because they were able to keep reports and tell people and share and tell people to, continue to pray for Jonathan. And they were able to give updates through social media, which was a great asset, great tool.
Wow. Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Prayer is very important, and prayer changes things, Now,
Yes.
with what you was dealing with, what did you think about transplant once you found out you were on dialysis?
Before I got sick, I didn't know anything about kidney disease. I had no education on kidney disease, and transplant. I had no education on that. But when I actually started thinking about transplant was when I was in the in center about 3 months into treatment. They presented to me and said they would like to put me on the transplant list. And my nephrologist said that, my labs had been great. And because of my age, I was 42 at the time. They wanted to put me up, put me on the transplant list as quickly as possible, get me off of the machine, because basically the machine was what was keeping me alive, removing toxins and fluid. And so she said because of my labs and because of me being compliant, they wanted to get me on that transplant list very quickly. So that's when I really started thinking about transplant.
Well, okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Some people run from transplant. Some people scared of it or don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with dialysis.
Mm-hmm.
Some people run from it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and some people do it and live well with it,
Mm-hmm.
and some people really struggle
Right.
with it. So I thank God that
Yep.
they did that in 3 months. I don't remember them telling me nothing in my 3 months. Now, I did 12 years of dialysis. Now I don't remember them saying nothing in 3 months,
Yep.
but they did ask me a few times, every certain amount of time, and I didn't want the transplant because I was told that my kidneys could start working at any time. So I didn't want to go through all of the operations and stuff, knowing that it could work,
Yeah.
but it didn't. And who knew? So then, so I'm 4 years in. So let me ask you now, okay, how did you get involved with the National Kidney Foundation and all of the things that you got involved with, and what made you do it?
Well, first of all, I want to give some credit to Kent Bressler and KidneySolutions.org. I actually had met Kent Bressler here in Kerrville, Texas, and he helped me advocate. And he's he became like a personal mentor to me, great friend. And he lives right here in Kerrville, Texas. And I met him, and he signed me on to Kidney Solutions, and he started advocating for me. Later on, after I got, transplanted and got involved with, some different advocacy things, Ken had, kind of talked with me about possibly becoming an ambassador for the NKF, AKF, and AAKP. And, basically just, doing different social media shares, sharing, some valuable information that, their organizations share, especially with the AAKP. They, sharing about the immunosuppressant bill that needs to be passed. Things like this, being involved with the NKF, like doing the NKF walks for kidneys, doing fundraisers, things like that. Eventually I would like to be a person that, maybe goes to Washington and, helps fight for rights of kidney patients, especially, the advancement of the immunosuppressant bill, things like that. Just to continue to spread education, spread awareness for the kidney community.
No, that's great. Because when you get involved in these things, you learn so much. You meet so many people. You network. You travel. You do some a little bit of everything. I mean, I love it. I love it. And same things that you are involved in, I'm involved in some of those and some others. But it's a beautiful thing, you know. Well, you got your transplant, right?
Yes.
So, what was that like when you got a transplant? Let's talk a little. Let's dive on and just squeeze that way a little bit. We're driving on this way. But
Well, the great thing about transplant was it got me off of dialysis.
I know that's right.
Yeah. And then, I was able to go to the bathroom. I started urinating. So that was amazing. The transplant was, an amazing situation because my mentor told me, he said, when you get that call, it's going to come at a time when you're not, thinking about it. And I remember on a Friday, I'd gotten a call from a friend. And, I thought it was just a general call. I didn't realize what it was about until, I picked up the phone and actually called her back. And she said, hey, my brother's passing away and, the family has met and we'd like to know if you'd like his kidney. And, I was taken back by that. It was a bittersweet moment because I knew this guy. We had grown up as kids, went to church together. Yeah. And, they called me and was telling me this. And, it was just like what Kent said, it kind of took me off guard. But I told him, I said, it would be an honor to take his kidney as long as, everything comes back, that it's healthy and everything like that. And of course, about being a match and everything. But just so happens it was tested and everything came back good. And, and it was a match for me. And, the hospital situation in San Antonio Methodist Specialty and Transplant, that's a great facility, great hospital. I went there. I was in and out in just, around 4 to 5 days. And it was an amazing journey as far as transplant. They've done so many of these. It was almost like, just clockwork for them, just routine. I did the surgery, came out, and they got me out of that. I think I was in the ICU like one day. Then they moved me to a regular room. And, they get you out of bed as quick as possible to get you, get the blood going and get you, used to, I guess, having the kidney and all that and get the blood circulating. So they get you up and moving and all that stuff. And, it was just it was a great experience. Their staff there, the doctors, everything down to housekeeping was just, they were on top of everything. They made the transition very easy at Methodist Specialty and Transplant. And like I said, I can't say enough about them. The whole group down there, Dr. Bingaman, Dr. Kapterchek, all my doctors down there. Shout out to them down there in San Antonio. They've all been amazing staff, amazing group. And they've made transplant very easy. They educated me on how to take my medicines, educated me on, how to, basically weigh myself, take my blood pressure, stay on top of everything, make a journal, really, really just stay on top of yourself and take care of yourself. And they did an excellent job. I have all their phone numbers in case I need to reach out to them. All that stuff. So it was a great transition from, going from dialysis to transplant. On November 11th, I'll be 90 days out.
Woo! Woo-hoo! Congratulations. Whoa, the warrior in the house.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. A survivor, a warrior, all that, huh? That's fantastic.
Yes, ma'am.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
It was all about. It sounded like you had a great team. I know at Mount Sinai I had a great team too that taught me a lot. As Archbishop Rochford always say, it takes teamwork to make the dream work. And your dreams sound like an organ. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, let me ask you. Now, you do a podcast. Tell us a little bit about that podcast. I watched it. Jal is great. Come on here.
Well, after what I experienced with kidney disease and having a near-death experience and going through dialysis in center and then going through home hemodialysis for a couple of months and everything that I went through, like I said, near-death experience, I just couldn't go in a hole and just like let it all just kind of push it back. I thought, you know what, I need God. God saved me for a reason, and the reason why I felt was to share my story and to use my story to bring hope and encourage others and to help others along on their journey to transplant. And I really felt like that there was a need for this. So I went ahead and decided to start, Hope with Jonathan. And I really feel like, it's a godsend for me to be involved with and to help, spread the word regarding kidney disease awareness and also spreading the word about, organ donation and to help some of these transplant patients that, have been on the list for a long time and been waiting. I like to try to encourage them by bringing them on the show and letting them, express themselves, tell their story. And that's what Hope with Jonathan's all about, is helping other people extend. By saying that, I mean like helping other people extend their life. That's what hope means to me. And I held on to hope. I held on to hope the whole time that I was going through, dialysis. And as you know, hope comes from God. Hope comes from the Lord above. And I held on to hope the whole time, going through dialysis, near-death experience, and then all the way through transplant. Even now, I'm hanging on to hope. As you know, transplant is just another form of treatment. So, definitely still hanging on to hope every day.
Amen. I ain't mad at you. Come on here. That's what it's all about. Now, you hit the ball right out of the park because your type of show, Hope with Jonathan, that's like double for kidney trouble because you're doing awareness for, and for kidney disease and everything and for transplants. So that's two things right there. And I'm sure other things is being blessed, with and by your show because it's bringing awareness out there. And that's what we're all trying to do out here. I've been trying for 9 years already. You know what I mean? It's a sweet journey, but it can be exhausting, but it's well worth it. You're never sorry, and you're never too tired not to do it. You just want to do it, and you want to get through to somebody. So whoever it is, the caregiver, the family member, the patients themselves, even the doctors, you know what I mean? You look at a doctor in a whole different way now, because before you just look at him like he's just taking the money and using up the insurance, but some really care. Some are really beautiful and will work along with you. I've had a few on the show, and I'm still working to get more. I really still working to get more. Have you had any issues with your transplant medication?
No, not really. They put me. They had to increase the Prograf because my levels, were a little off with the Prograf. But for the main part, they've, I've been pretty stable with the medication. They didn't have to put me on the prednisone. I did breathing treatments. And I've been on Valsite and Bactrim as a antiviral medication. But other than that, no, I mean, I really haven't had much trouble. The only thing that I've had a little bit of trouble was staying hydrated because of my mindset of being so conscious of being, only 32 ounces a day. I had to change that again and go, okay, now I got to start drinking more and more and more, to try to keep that kidney, functioning. So, I've had a little bit of trouble with that, just basically retraining my thought process and my mind to, keep drinking water. But other than that, no, I haven't had, that many issues yet. Thank God. All praise to God.
Were you taking? Did it go down, the amount of pills? I know mine went down a great deal.
Well, I had went down some while I was on home hemo and then increased some, but I'm fixing to lose one because they said they was going to take me off, I believe, the Valsite at the 90-day mark. But I'm on about I'm on between like 12 to 14 medicines right now. Um, Only because, of just all the different supplements and things like that I'm on. But, I take like a daily aspirin, and all that stuff just adds up, that you end up.
It does.
But,
Yeah,
but the main
yeah. It was
part
a lot.
is the immune suppressants, the Valsite, the Bactrim, and just all those are the main medications right now that I'm on. Believe it or not, I'm not on any blood pressure medication, which I find is amazing. So
I'm amazed over the prednisone because I was trying to shake that prednisone, boy, and that was some part of my problems with my bones. You know what I mean? So even though
yeah,
I had low calcium as a kid and everything, but dog, as a man, that messed with my bones. Even though the dose is
yeah,
not that high as it was, it's still
yeah,
messing with the bones. And I'm not appreciating that.
yeah,
Walking with a cane. You know, so I'm
yeah,
used to running and jogging, and I'm getting back to that. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I don't know
yeah.
if you had any gum issues or bones, even the things with bones in my mouth, bones. Oh, forget it. Don't even go
Yeah.
there. But you look very well. You look handsome. I'm
Well,
sure your wife, I ain't mad at her. I'm just glad that God has kept you. So
thank you.
let me
Thank
think.
you,
Now
Lisa.
you have. I don't think. You're welcome. I don't think we have
Hmm.
forgotten anything. I don't know if there's anything. I would say if anybody want to show something or say something or anything like that. But I would like to ask, well, if you can encourage somebody out there that maybe went through something similar or maybe
Uh-huh.
something exact. Maybe you need to talk to a husband out there. I don't know, but somebody that's dealing with this and they need some encouragement. I want you to give it to them because I know you got it. Give it to them.
So first of all, I'd like to say if you're going through and experiencing the same thing, basically, hang on to your support system, family and friends first. And if you're not getting the support there, there's always a support group somewhere, or whether it be at your local church or hospital. A strong support system will help you immensely. You're going to need it. You're going to need somebody to talk to about what you're going through, what you're experiencing. Um, and listen to the doctors, listen to what they're telling you. Try to be as compliant as possible. It's going to be tough at first, but you're going to need to definitely adhere to what they're saying and comply, especially when it comes to the renal diet, things like that. You're going to have to comply to it. They're going to be able to tell by your labs, about your phosphorus levels, your potassium levels, things like this. These are important. Definitely have a good relationship with the staff at whether you're in center or maybe you're at home. You gotta figure out which treatment you're going to do. But if you're in center, you need to have a good working relationship because you're going to see that staff all the time. So you definitely want to have a good relationship with them. But like I said, just hang on to your support and hope. Know that you're going to have some hard days. You're going to have some tough days, and that's when you need to lean upon your support system. And like I said, just always hang on to hope, no matter what. Don't ever give up. Just keep believing, keep trusting. God is your friend, and reach out to Him. He's going to be there. He'll never leave you nor forsake you, as the Scripture says. And just reach out to Him and keep believing. Also, for anyone out there that's listening and you're having some symptoms, or maybe you have type 2 diabetes or hypertension and you're not being checked out currently, I would advise you to go get checked out, get some blood work done, and find out, what's going on with your kidneys. Get your kidneys checked out. A simple blood test might save your life. It would have saved mine. I made it by the grace of God, but I came really close, and I wasn't going to the doctors. I wasn't getting checked out. Had I been going, I did everything backwards. Had I been going to the doctor, getting checked out, I could have been prepared for kidney failure, but and been advocating for a transplant, but I didn't. So it's definitely important to stay on top of your, doctor's appointments and labs. Get that blood work done for sure.
Wow, we learn from our mistakes, though, and we a lot of times
Yes,
we want somebody out there to learn from them too. Now, who would you
yes.
want to share some love with? Show some love and give a shout out to somebody out there that was in your corner that got you. Go ahead and show that love.
So I want to shout out to Kent Bressler with KidneySolutions.org. He's my mentor, my advocate. People like you, Lisa Baxter Show, uh, Jared and Jeff Brown, the Brown brothers.
Yeah.
Jim Myers. People like like I said, Jim Myers. He's a great one. Uncle Jim, Steve Belcher. All you guys inspire me to keep going. And some advocates out there like Donna Tassat, different ones. Out there that I see that are just amazing people. All the people that I've mentioned are amazing advocates, and they're great for the kidney community. So shout out to them. First of all, I'd also like to thank God. I want to give God all the glory for saving me and giving me the ability to be able to tell my story and express, my story to everybody out there. And I'd like to thank all my family and friends for praying for me and staying in prayer, staying in communication with me. And believe it or not, my staff at DaVita locally here at Kerrville, they were amazing. They really stuck with me. I made some really good friends there. They were just great to me. I know everybody's experience has been different with different dialysis centers, but my local DaVita here was really great. And all the staff, anybody that's ever had a hand in my treatment, I love you, and I thank you for everything you did for me.
20 years. Shando, Korobushia.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah. She was also my caretaker whenever I was on home hemo, and just so happens I was on home hemo for like 3 months, and I got transplanted. So I wasn't on home hemo very long, but it was long enough.
I know that's right. Well, you had the experience with everything, and I just really, truly, 100% appreciate you, your ministry, your testimony, and your story. You know what I mean? So
Thank
you
you.
just keep doing great
Thank you.
things, keep letting God use you and put you out there because the best is
Mhm.
yet to come. Don't you ever forget it.
Appreciate that.
Because God
Appreciate
got
that.
you, love. God got you. Okay,
Yes.
my brother. Thank you. And we're about to end the
Thank
show.
you.
Nurse Belcher got a show right after this. Okay, so thank you
All
so
right.
much, sir. And
Shout
appreciate
out
you.
to Steve.
Bless your life. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Well, guys, that is the end of this show. How about that? Was that not a great guest? That was a great, fantabulous guest. And I'm telling you, next week, I got Rhonda Johnson. That's right. Rhonda Johnson was on my show before. And I was a mentor. We were in the same dialysis center. We both social workers together. And that lady got a transplant. What? She is going to tell her story next week. So don't y'all miss it. Have an excellent night. Be good to yourself. Be good to your family and your community. Take care of your kidneys, and they will take care of you. Good night. Peace. Bless.
Do you know you could have kidney disease and not even know it? 9 out of 10 people who have stage 3 chronic kidney disease do not know it. The rate of kidney failure for African Americans is 3 times higher than among Caucasians. And one reason for this is that they are not aware when they have earlier stages of kidney disease, at a time treatment could prevent the damage from progressing to the point when dialysis or kidney transplantation is necessary. In addition, due to high rates of diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease, Blacks and African Americans have an increased risk of developing kidney failure. African Americans need to be aware of these risk factors and visit their doctor or clinic regularly to check their blood sugar, blood pressure, urine protein, and kidney function. Be aware. Get tested. The life you save may be your own. For more information, contact urbankidneyalliance.org.
infamous. Yeah.
This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 and the kidney one. My girl, and say, this is